Welcome, my lords.
So, I request Honorable Mr. Justice T.S. Sivanyana, Judge, High Court of Madras and Chairman Computer Committee to deliver the welcome address.
Most respected Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, the Chairman of the E-Committee, Supreme Court of India, Mr. Justice A.P. Shahi, the Chief Justice of Madras High Court, Honorable Justice Professor Satyanarayana, Honorable Justice M. Sundar, Honorable Justice A.D. Jagdish Chandra, and Honorable Justice C. Saravanan, all esteemed members of the Computer Committee of the Madras High Court, brother and sister judges of the Madras High Court, both in the principal seat and the Madurai bench, Honorable Mr. Justice Ravindra Challan, Vice Chairman of the E-Committee, Learned Advocate General, Additional Advocate General, Law Officers of the State, Registrar General, Registrar IT and Statistics, and other registrars, Principal District Judge, Judges, Chief Judicial Magistrate, the Chief Judge, Court of City Civil Court, and the Chief Metropolitan Magistrate, and all judicial officers in the state of Tamil Nadu, members of the E-Committee of the Supreme Court, President and office bearers and advocates of the Advocates and Bar Association in the principal seat and the Madurai bench, Chief Secretary of the Government of Tamil Nadu, the Home Secretary of the Government of Tamil Nadu, the Director General of Police, the Commissioner of Police, Chennai City, esteemed officials of the National Informatics Center, officers and the technical team of the computer wing of the Madras High Court, members of the press and media, special invitees, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, our dynamic chairman of the E-Committee of the Honorable Supreme Court, under whose guidance we have been working ever since he took over as chairperson of the E-Committee. On 10th and 11th of January 2020, the Honorable Chairman convened a meeting of the chairpersons of the computer committees of the High Courts and the Central Project Coordinators. Elaborate discussions were made during the meeting and decisions were taken and recorded as resolutions. I am proud to say that the Madras High Court has been able to fulfill all resolutions which were adopted in the said meeting. First and foremost is the virtual court project, which is to be inaugurated by the Honorable Chairman in a short while from now. Though the project was ready much earlier, on account of the lockdown, we could not inaugurate it earlier. So far as the interoperable criminal justice system, popularly known as ICJS, we have been able to access the charge sheets and access to the FIRs in progress, and our registrar IT and his team are closely working with the NIC and the ICJS team. E-filing was started through the module developed by the Honorable E-Committee on 22/4/20 in the principal seat, initially for the bail applications, and it has been implemented in a phased manner in the district judiciary from 22/5/20. The number of advocates both in the High Court and the district courts who have registered themselves shows an encouraging trend to adopt this methodology. With regard to e-payment, the registry has signed the MOU with the State Bank of India to avail such facility. The National Service and Tracking of Electronic Process (NSTEP) is to be implemented shortly. 2,906 smartphones were procured through the GEM portal, and the NSTEP mobile application has been installed. Bilingual templates of notices and summons have been prepared. SIM cards with internet connectivity have been procured, and all handsets have been delivered to the respective court locations in the state. With regard to video conferencing of court hearings, the same has been successfully conducted in the principal seat and the Madurai bench, and also by the principal district judges throughout the state. At the High Court, the hearings are conducted using WebEx and Polycom licenses, and the district judiciary has been using video applications for such hearings. The Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency has assisted us in procuring the license, and the government has been addressed to provide one license for each court complex in the state, numbering 271 at the first instance. The Registrar IT and this team are also working on JITC as per the directions of the Honorable E-Committee for conducting court hearings through video conferencing in subordinate courts. So far as utilization of funds, we are proud to say that 90% of the funds allotted have been utilized, and the savings to the tune of rupees 7.6 crores is to be utilized for procuring ICT infrastructure for the newly constituted 130 courts as per the directions of the Honorable E Committee. The virtual courts, which are to be inaugurated by His Lordship shortly, would be a quantum leap in the manner in which traffic challan cases would be disposed of. 2 metropolitan magistrate courts have been specifically earmarked for such cases. Though I was assigned the task of welcoming the gathering, I thought fit to place on record the action taken by our High Court in implementing the directions of the Honorable E Committee. I extend a hearty welcome to the Honorable Chairman of the E Committee, to our Honorable Chief Justice, who has been a pillar of support, continuously encouraging and guiding us. A warm welcome to the brother and sister judges who have readily accepted e-governance and switched over to the hearings through video conferencing. Welcome to one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mullah. I request the Honorable Chief Justice of Madras High Court to deliver the keynote address.
Honorable Dr. Justice Chanchud, Chairman E Committee of Supreme Court of India, whom I have always addressed my Chief Justice at Allahabad High Court. Honorable Mr. Justice T.S. Sivaganam, Chairman Computer Committee of the Madras High Court, and honorable members of the Computer Committee. My colleagues on the bench, including those at Madurai and at Madras, all the respective office bearers and members of the bar associations at Madras and Madurai, the learned Advocate General, the Registrar General and the entire registry, and the team behind this success, as well as all those who are watching us. Today is a historic moment where our court's functioning is being redefined with the formal commencement of a virtual court system in the High Court of Judicature at Madras. I and my entire team heartily thank Honorable Dr. Justice Chanchud for having steered the project as a true devoted and a powerful driving force to implement the same. The virtual project is like an anthem which will stand embedded in the stones of the annals, transformation of this court functioning virtually to match with national and international standards. The short experience that we had on a trial basis, particularly during this COVID-19 crisis, has sounded the trumpet of success for all stakeholders of the judiciary. This is therefore a Eureka movement where we are stepping into an age of embracing telecommunication facilities for running our justice delivery system with greater efficiency. There is an excitement and even an anxiety amongst the legal fraternity about the adaptability of this system. But I personally feel that once it is set into motion and its advantageous scores over any shortcomings take place, the system would be well received, right from the taluk courts to the highest echelons of judiciary, embracing even tribunals and executive functionaries who are involved in the adjudicatory systems of this country. At the outset, every new invention or discovery and its adaptation by the common man does induce some uncertainties, and at times there is a psychological resistance in accepting and embracing the new technological advancement. Illustrations are not far to see, like the modes of travel, the train and the automobile replacing the animal drawn carriages, etc. However, all such disillusionment and fog was cleared with the passage of time and with the extensive usage and its growing acceptability. Similarly, with the coming in of modern telecommunication facilities and the expanding and penetrative inventions in the field of computers, in the mechanics of digitization, and in the facility of video communication, the same has been accepted by and large in every field of human activity. Smart mobile phones are being widely used for communication, information, and entertainment. And therefore, there is no reason as to why such equipment may not be put to use to facilitate the justice delivery system. To begin with, adaptability of routine functioning through this system can be of great help. Almost every lawyer in today's time is equipped with a smartphone, and every clerk attached to a lawyer equally has this facility, communicating equally with both the lawyer and the anxious litigants. A litigant attending a case has now accessibility to these methods, and therefore a gradual adaptation of these technological advancements have now become part of the legal culture, right from the taluk courts up to the highest courts in the country. Little to say that even cart pullers and vegetable sellers are now armed with such telecommunication systems. The concern is how best it can now be utilized, and all stakeholders are comforted by an easy access and application of these facilities in our country and court management for running virtual courts through video conferencing. The various experiments, particularly during the COVID-19 period, have brought about fruitful results. But the large-scale applicability is yet to gain momentum, for which efforts are already on, with considerable projects having been announced that are likely to take over these problems. The beginning of a new era that has dawned because of COVID-19 crisis is an opportune moment to adopt these technological systems as fast as we can. Apprehensions have been expressed by different stakeholders, more particularly by lawyers, about virtual courts replacing the open and the physical court hearings prevalent throughout the country. This has already been dispelled by various announcements that virtual courts are not a substitute to completely replace the open and physical court hearings. Virtual courts work almost with the same process and observing the principles of natural justice, that is providing a platform for fair hearing. The implementation of this technology platform in order to ensure fairness of opportunity has to be ensured, and which is dependent upon the effective functioning of the technology and the system in which this technology has been adopted. The initial successes have indicated that they can effectively provide a fair opportunity of hearing, and the hiccups in the connectivity problem can be resolved by updating the technology as per the requirement in the respective areas. The availability of connectivity towers, this was pointed out during these problems that we were facing, and very particularly a secured corridor of transmission to even the remotest corner of the country will ensure the system to be more effective. I am certain that steps would in future be taken to provide effective connectivity equipments in order to avoid any such disruptions that do take place at times during the virtual court hearings. To allay the apprehensions expressed, effective trained personnel can be stationed who can guide the lawyers how to utilize their equipments in order to avail this facility. This is just like a training being provided at every level in the form of helplines in order to virtually teach a person how to use the equipment for availing this benefit. These initial training modules as well as training personnel can be arranged within the court premises itself, and once a lawyer and even a litigant comes to know of this, it will nowhere be difficult for anyone to utilize the virtual court platform. The simplification of the telecommunication facilities will bring about many advantages, which critics at present are unable to visualize in future. To illustrate, a lawyer who may have to take a date in a court of the magistrate and may have to simultaneously attend a final hearing in a civil court can very easily place himself comfortable by attending to his final hearing case before the civil court and concentrating on it, and at the same time connect himself to the magistrate's court where only he has to take just a date. This can be vice versa depending upon the own priorities of a lawyer. His physical presence and movement therefore stands heavily reduced, and which in turn lessens his own burden, tensions, etc., while facilitating a response to his litigating client about the outcome of the proceedings. This may be a situation within one court itself, where a lawyer has to shuttle himself physically to reach one court or the other, while tension grips him and his clerk on account of his not being available physically at several places at the same time. Lawyers who even have a single case can very easily and conveniently connect themselves virtually, and this may be more helpful particularly to those who are handicapped in reaching the court physically. Office work can be handled through email and e-filing, which will be an additional advantage for lawyers, sparing them enough time for court work. With the increase of their efficiency, the doubt on engagements getting reduced would be the just opposite. And as a matter of fact, efficiency with such systems is likely to attract more litigants and clients towards technologically efficient lawyers. The technology being readily available, the engagement of the lawyer, whether at the taluk level or in the highest court, would be dependent on his competence and efficiency, and would not stand reduced by a more efficient system. There are a large number of advantages that will accrue to the benefit of all stakeholders. Reducing the footfalls, physical movement of files and papers, coupled with fast communication to a litigant wherever he is stationed physically. This would benefit more particularly poor litigants who need not rush to courts every time on a date fixed and communicate with their lawyers. Live streaming that is being discussed today may be a reality tomorrow. With this optimistic note, I hope and trust that this movement will gallop under the able guidance of Dr. Justice Chanchud, Honorable Chairman of the E-Committee of the Supreme Court of India, whose dynamic role in taking up challenges on day-to-day basis and resolving them has brought about a new enthusiasm in this movement of installing virtual courts throughout the country and converting it into a reality. I wish my computer committee and its entire team a grand success in their endeavor and attempt to implement these projects, and I shall ever be there to contribute and support all such efforts within the reach of the High Court. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my lord.
I humbly request Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Judge, Supreme Court of India and Chairman E-Committee, to inaugurate the virtual court and deliver the special address.
Thank you.
Thank you, my lord.
Thank you very much. Chief Brother Justice, brother and sister, Justice Putter, Justice Ratnan, all the other judges of the Chief Secretary, the judicial officer, distinguished members of the bar, ladies and gentlemen. The state of Tamil Nadu has made significant progress in very important area of human development, on the Human Development Index. Chief amongst them is the growth of women's education and large pool of talented, educated young people who the universities are generating. Many of them are potential contributors. As the market for legal expanded in the last decade, we as judges have a special responsibility to ensure that the infrastructure which we create is able to match the expectation and the need for, which is the conscience of the young. So many of these steps is to ensure that to remain relevant in the future by meeting the aspirations of the legal profession. On this occasion, I'd like to congratulate Chief Justice Shahi, Brother Sivagnanam, with whom I'm working very closely, the judges of the Computer Committee, the government of Tamil Nadu, including the traffic branch, the State Bank of India. This is really a collaborative, and it is because of the collaboration of stakeholders we are able to inaugurate court. The virtual court has increased productivity for officers, and above all, it reflects a cooperative and collaborative exercise between diverse segments of society. I hope that the inaugural court tonight day will be only a beginning and areas of it. A couple of weeks ago, I inaugurated the extension of Municipal Court Delhi to cover the images generated which are installed on. 10 minutes ago, I received exact NIC Pune from Challan, who told me that in a short period, 67,000 cases have been the subject matter. Fines have been collected. The collection has been 20 lakhs, and yet 125 want to contest their case in investigation. Now, the important thing is that by setting up these virtual courts, we provide a service to who don't have to spend a the court and can, so as to save their lives, to enable them to carry yet pay up these petty fines. But there is something very important to the operation of the virtual court. What it tells us is that there are many redundancies in the something as simple as traffic offences, when judicial officers used to be consumed the Delhi Judicial Service, one judicial officer today, so that the other 90 for doing other important judicial work. But this is an opportunity for us to think of that redundant in the judicial process. And I think we have to carry out an exercise of business process re-engineering. Look at our processes again. Cut down all those redundancies for trial courts, multiple registers, multiple forms, the lot of effort that goes in of judicial officers to staff the district judiciary, which can be reduced by the process of hearing. I'm sure with the justice at the helm and Brother Sivagnanam, you would consider taking up this also. I want to share with you a couple of thoughts on this occasion. The National Judicial Data Grid provides us with a huge amount of data on the Indian judicial system. I was looking at the NJDG just this afternoon, and what it tells us is that the pendency of cases in Tamil Nadu is 11,67,701. Out of them, 6,57,677 cases are civil cases, while 5,10,029 cases are criminal cases. Cases between 5 to 10 years are 12% of the total pendency. 10 to 20 years, 3% of the total pendency. And above 30 years, 0.03, there are only 296 cases. Of the 11,67,000 cases which are pending, 10,11,000 are at the original stage. 44,655 cases are still undated. Now, these are some of the areas which give us management tools to deal with the pendency of litigation all over the country. I'm sure we can use the NJDG data across the country, and Tamil Nadu is not, I'm not singling out Tamil Nadu. We have to use it across the country for the management of arrears, for the assessment of performance of judicial officers. Since the Chief Secretary of the state of Tamil Nadu has also joined us today, and the Law Secretary would be here, there is one facet which I want to mention, which is that as part of the E-Committee, the part of the E-Courts project, the E-Committee has now decided to open up the entire data which was available to us by the process of open APIs. I would like every state government, including the state of Tamil Nadu, to now utilize the data with the use of the open APIs which we have created, so as to manage their litigation in various courts in Tamil Nadu and perhaps even other parts of the country. This can be extended to local bodies as well, because local bodies have a large amount of litigation. It's an important tool for performance accountability, such as the payment of lawyers' fees and various other issues which may be of benefit to the state government in the management of its litigation. I was glad to learn from Brother Sivananam's address about the steps which have been taken on the ICJS platform. There is one suggestion which I have, which is that when we are using the ICJS platform for loading the FIRs and the charge sheets, we must ensure that only the bare shell of the FIR is not loaded, and we have the content of the FIRs and the charge sheets as well. Translations of the content of the FIRs and charge sheets can be obtained by using SUAS, the software which is being guided by the Supreme Court Artificial Intelligence Committee for the purpose of translation of judgments. It's very significant that the Madras High Court has already launched upon e-filing. I would like to emphasize that e-filing is not really a matter merely of filing on emails. E-filing and digitization must go hand in hand. And what is important is that we must be able to sync the files which are being digitized, the old files, with the e-filing which is taking place today, so that both the digitized files and the e-filed files can be synchronized on one platform so as to provide a dashboard for the judges in future. You have probably got to know about the fact that the Supreme Court made a demonstration of its e-filing module at a webinar with the bar a couple of weeks ago, because we wanted to take our bar into confidence and to receive the suggestions of the lawyers so that we could incorporate them. What we are doing in the Supreme Court is that we are engaging data entry operators. We are going to handhold the bar because we are conscious of the fact that every one member of the bar may not be e-enabled or technology compliant. Therefore, what we are proposing to do is to appoint data entry operators who will do the feeding of the data at a nominal cost for those lawyers who do not have access to those services. E-Seva Kendras are now being set up. The e-service Kendras, the e-service centers are being set up all over the country. Tamil Nadu is also in the process of setting them up. And these can actually be focal points for rolling out these services of the e-courts project to common citizens and to the members of the bar. We may consider using the district legal services authorities as well as the paralegal volunteers for the purpose of manning the e-Seva Kendras, so that these become the focus of the provision of services by us to the community at large. I think it's important that all the learned judges also take it upon themselves to encourage training of young lawyers, because this collaborative exercise of training the young members of the bar, particularly those who come from rural areas, is very important for the long-term success of the e-courts project. And I believe there's a vital role to be played by the bar associations and by the judiciary acting together as one institution in propagating training for young lawyers. Of course, many young lawyers are far more proficient in technology than we are, But there are many lawyers who are not. Education levels differ from parts of the state to the other. And therefore, we need to ensure that the extension of technology indeed becomes inclusive. Just a couple of things which I want to emphasize, that I'm glad that e-payment has been initiated as well, and an MOU has been signed by the Madras High Court with State Bank of India. We can now extend e-payments and e-deposits in other cases, such as matrimonial cases, where small amounts of maintenance have to be deposited and withdrawn. So we can extend the facility for e-deposits and e-withdrawals in other areas as well. Otherwise, imagine a woman who has been deserted by her husband, who has a small amount of maintenance to be paid every month. We can certainly make it easy for them by requiring e-deposits to be made and facilitating e-payments to seamlessly provide for payment of maintenance. The E-Committee has, the IT Committee of the Madras High Court has proposed that we utilize the savings of 7.6 crores for providing infrastructure to 130 new establishments. You can take it from me that this will be facilitated without any difficulty. That will ensure that every court in Tamil Nadu would have the full ICT infrastructure. Finally, I'd like to say that this is indeed a very unique venture which has been initiated by the Madras High Court, and I compliment every member of the collaborative team which has done this exercise. Brother Justice Sivagnanam is leading from the front, and he has been assisting me very ably as part of several committees which I have set up as a chairperson of the E-Committee. One of them was to draft the model videoconferencing rules, which have been now rolled out and sent to all the high courts. The committee is also preparing an SOP for e-filing across the country, and SOP for digitization, model rules for live streaming, and a provision for e-linking of law libraries. So these are many projects which we are now looking at. We are in the process of drafting a vision document for phase 3 of the e-courts project. I have inducted experts from outside the judiciary for preparing this exercise, because I do believe that the community outside, civil society, has a vital interest in the manner in which we discharge our duties on the E-Committee, because ultimately we are providing a service to society. So with that, I think I shouldn't exceed my brief or my time. Usually between 4:30 and 5, I'll share a secret with you. When your Chief Justice was a very able colleague of mine in the Allahabad High Court, between 4:30 and 5 was when the time when we would meet over a cup of coffee and discuss many of the important matters of the High Court. I was deeply assisted by his presence with me in the Allahabad High Court, and until he moved on as the senior administrative judge at Lucknow, a role which he discharged with great ability and tact, as required of senior administrative judges at our benches. So it's been a pleasure personally for me to have been invited here, though I didn't have the pleasure ever of sitting on the bench at such a distinguished high court as yours. I have learned so much about it from my own distinguished colleagues, Justice Sanjay Kaul being one of them, who has been a very able Chief Justice of your High Court at one time. And I learned so much about your High Court in our conversations in the Supreme Court with my colleagues here. Sister Bhanumati as well. So I thank you very much for this very kind invitation, and I give you my best wishes for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, my lord. Thank you, my lord. Now we will have a short video tutorial on virtual courts.
Vanakkam. Welcome to Virtual Courts in Tamil Nadu. Under the able guidance of Honorable E-Committee Supreme Court of India, Madras High Court has implemented the virtual court for traffic challan cases in Chennai, wherein the traffic violators are provided with the facility to pay the fine using online mode. The traffic police in Chennai are provided with the handheld device installed with eChallan app. This device has the facility to avail the data from Vahan and Saradi of the Transport Department. The details of the vehicle gets populated in the application which is being used by the police. The process flow in virtual court is depicted here. The challan generated by the police goes to the e-challan server. From there it goes to the virtual court server, wherein the judge can avail the facility and send SMS to the party, and the violator can pay the fine using online mode. The virtual court has two login, one for admin login and the other for the judge login. The admin login is used by the court administrator, where he can use the credential and log in to the system. Virtual court dashboard appear for the court user, wherein he can see the details of the challan which are received, verified and rejected for any period of dates. The admin login facility will enable the court to consume the traffic challan cases for particular area and date, where one can give the consume date so that the records which is available in the e-challan server gets consumed. Once the data is consumed, the court admin has to verify the cases. While verifying the cases, the challan date, offender name, act, section with fine amount gets populated. One can have clear picture of all the details. Court user has to verify the challan. Once the challan is verified, it will give you a successful message with registration of case. Once verification is done, the virtual court judge can do the proceeding of the challan. The district has to be selected and one can view the full details of the offence with fine particulars and other necessary details. Virtual judge fixes the fine and completes the proceeding. Once proceeding is made, the virtual judge could send the SMS to the parties, wherein violators are pushed with SMS with the link to pay the fine using online mode. Once the violator gets the SMS, he can click the link which will take him to the virtual court site, wherein he could avail the facility of online payment. One has to select the state as Tamil Nadu and it will take you to the dashboard which gives you the option of searching the challan using mobile number of the violator and CNR number of the registered case in the virtual court, or the party name of the violator, and you can also search using the challan number, vehicle number of the violator vehicle. Now we are searching the challan using the CNR number of the case registered. Once you submit, it will take you and give the details of the challan with the offence, section and fine amount which has been generated by the police. One can view the details and it will show the case details like CNR number, challan number, received date, police station and the proposed fine for the offence. The violator is given with 4 options. 1. He may choose to pay the fine. 2. He may contest the case. Other is he may pay or contest by verifying engine number, chase number if his name or mobile number is incorrect. Once the violator proposes to pay the fine, he has to provide mobile number and generate OTP. OTP is sent to the registered mobile number. Once the OTP is verified, the violator is given with the option to accept and pay the fine. Once the violator chooses to pay the fine, it will take you to SBI ePay payment gateway. Violator could pay the fine using internet banking, credit card, debit cards. Once payment is made, violator is provided with an acknowledgement stating that he has paid the fine amount for a particular challan, and the same gets displayed in the dashboard of the judge user. Thank you.
I request Honorable Mrs. Justice Pushpa Satyanarayana, Judge, High Court of Madras, and member, Computer Committee, to deliver vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. This evening, we are all here in one such destination. I am delighted to have been given the pleasant duty of delivering the vote of thanks this evening. All of us stand on the shoulders of giants, but it is very rarely we look back to see how they contribute and acknowledge it. Virtual court is a concept aimed at eliminating presence of litigants or lawyers in the court and adjudication of the case online. Many have lent their shoulders for the virtual court, and I take this opportunity to say thanks to all. The motto of the E-Committee is efficiency, transparency, and access to every user of Justice Inc. service. My sincere thanks to Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Chairman, E-Committee, Supreme Court of India, for inaugurating the virtual court and delivering the special address on this August evening. My lords, we will also take a note of the ICJ's platform for filing FIR and charge sheet, which would also can be translated by installing the appropriate software as suggested by your lordship. And also the E-Seva Kendra in Chennai is in place, and shortly with your lordship's guidance it will be extended to all the other districts also. And the valuable suggestion given by your lordship about the e-deposits of maintenance and also the e-payment out will also be put to use shortly. To talk about the computer committee, how we have been functioning, the independence, yet the support we received from the chairman, E-Committee, Supreme Court of India was tremendous. A couple of days ago, your lordship had observed that technology is an inseparable adjunct to rule of law and will have to be employed as a critical element in court design. And what was perceived for future is a healthy mixture of hearings in open courts and virtual courts. Virtual courts must be encouraged in areas they are suited to. My hearty thanks to our Honorable Chief Justice for delivering the keynote address and also explaining the excellent overview of the virtual courts and the benefits. It is the right time to place it on record, the guidance extended by His Lordship in person in the functioning of the e-services in our High Court as well as the subordinate courts in the state. Nothing concentrates the mind like a deadline, especially during these COVID times. It is difficult to get people to work. However, the e-administration led by the Honorable Chairman of the Supreme Court of India and also as instructed by the Honorable Chief Justice of our court and also Justice T.S. Sivanyanam, with the able guidance of our Chairman E-Committee, orchestrated the people and watched the entire institution being transformed to an e-mode. I must mention my deepest sense of appreciation, for I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Chief Justice again, because of whom we made this event possible. A special thanks to my colleagues on the Computer Committee for their instrumental role. I take this opportunity to extend the Computer Committee's profound thanks to the Honorable Judges of this court, both in Madras and Madurai, in encouraging the initiatives and adopting the same in their judicial as well as the administrative work. The officers of the subordinate judiciary deserve a praise for their timely adoption of the e-services to the extent possible. The role of the advocates, law officers, and the government officials in making this possible needs a special mention, and I thank them all. For every minute spent in organizing, an hour is earned, says Benjamin Franklin. Events like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling at the time when COVID-19 made its entry. It required planning and bird's eye for details. We have been fortunate to have a very motivated and dedicated IT team who know their job and are result-oriented. I cannot thank everyone enough for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. I thank all. Once again, I want to state that we are most grateful to all for being with us this evening. It has been really a great pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, my lord. May I conclude the proceeding, my lord? Function concludes now.
Thank you.